If we want to talk about people bitching in the replies of every single UFC tweet that night, Sunday night, and now Monday night, let's talk about the featherweight title bout with
Uh-oh.
Volkanovski Holloway 2.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I thought someone was supposed to finish someone in this fight,
What
Volkov.
happened to Alexander Volkanovski saying, I'm going to finish this guy. I'm going to cement my legacy as a champion.
So
And
ironic.
and
So
and and so
ironic.
so instead of going out and cementing your legacy and finishing the greatest featherweight of all time, you go and have a super controversial split decision win over this. Oh no! My take on this before we get into it: Alexander Volkanovski would have, perception wise and image wise, would have been better to lose this fight than to have the instead split decision controversial win.
Man,
Take a minute. Take a minute.
I cannot believe that Holloway got robbed like he did.
Oh no.
Literally, whatever you just said, I don't care. Because all I gotta say, how in the world are they doing this young man like that?
Mm-hmm.
This young man that is just such a stand-up human being
Great guy.
drops him in the freaking first two rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here we go. This is my take on it.
Let's go.
We
Blake.
can argue.
Give
We
it to
can
me.
argue.
Give it to me.
Round one, round two, decisive Max Holloway victories.
Mm-hmm.
He drops his ass round one, drops his ass round two. Round three, super close. I couldn't decide. I really couldn't decide. I think the numbers were on Volkanovski's side,
Mm-hmm.
just barely, like squeaky barely. And then fourth and fifth, Volkanovski won. I think he mixed it up a little bit better. But in 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every single round, Max Holloway was up in his face, backing him down. He was the one controlling where the fight was taking place, really, up until about the fourth and fifth round. That's when Volkanovski really started trying to mix in some takedowns, I'd say. But it's just like, maybe I don't fully understand the rules, or I mean, even the guy that wrote the rules, John McCarthy, is saying that Holloway won the fight. So I'm really just not understanding
If
what
John
these referees
McCarthy
are saying.
says Holloway won the fight, then he won the fight. Straight
and
up.
and and to everyone, that thinks that Volkanovski won, I don't see how Volkanovski won that fight at all. He didn't have one moment in that fight where it made me say, damn, you know what?
No.
He's doing enough to win this thing. Whereas Max, there were two times where I was like, holy, he could finish this right here.
Yeah.
Had me on the edge of my seat.
Now, this fight was almost a flip of what happened in their first one, where we had, at least, let's not talk in terms of procession, but in terms of what happened. Just real quick, because Holloway won first two, and then Volkanovski, according to the judges, or at least two of the three, won the next three. And that's exactly the opposite of what happened in the first fight. We had Holloway coming on, we had Holloway kind of finishing strong, but starting off awfully. It was it's kind of weird to see that flip. But here, Blake, I'm gonna give you this, okay? We were talking about this a little bit before we started recording, and this is my take on what happened that night. Max Holloway won this fight. He absolutely won this fight. But unlike most people, and I'm going to agree, Ben Askren's on my side right here, I am not going to call it a robbery, because that third round is what ultimately decided this fight. And why I say it's not a robbery is that neither guy decisively won that round. If Holloway decisively won round three, then I'll call it a robbery. If Volkanovski decisively won round three, then I'd be okay saying Volkanovski won this. But with neither man decisively winning this round, with Holloway winning the round though, but with neither man decisively winning that key round, I am reluctant to call it a robbery.
I think you're so wrong.
Okay?
You're just lying through your teeth.
Just lying through my teeth?
I'm just kidding. No,
Jerk.
it's tough, man, because everyone wanted a decisive victory in this fight. Like, we wanted it to be like, okay, Max is the man. He deserved to win that first fight. Or, Volkanovski, this really solidifies his title reign, and now let's go on to the next contender. And it just sucks that we don't really get that clear, kind of
Does that
closure.
mean, even though Volkanovski is on according to legit records, he's 2-0 in this series between the two. But do we have to go to a immediate trilogy?
I see. That's the thing that everyone's been asking today, and man, it's tough. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm Holloway, hell yeah, I want that immediate trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the UFC, maybe even if you're Volkanovski, I don't know what he's thinking.
If I'm Volkanovski, I just want
If you're every other featherweight in that
yeah.
division, you're like, dude, come
Well,
on.
we're talking about this. The biggest fear for a featherweight going to this fight was a trilogy, and there's still an opportunity for a trilogy.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's bad for these guys. I think the way to go with this is we don't give the immediate trilogy. We keep Max super high up in the rankings. Maybe keep him in number 2 or something. But we're gonna have top 4 right now is Holloway, Zabit, Mago Med Sharapov. Thank you. And then Brian Ortega and Chan Sung Jung. But those two are going to be fighting soon. And so, you want to just throw Holloway against Zabit for the number 1 contender spot? And do we
say that one more time?
Holloway versus Zabit for the number 1 contender? So
Versus
Max doesn't
Zabit?
get the immediate title rematch, but he's still in number 1 contender fight.
So you're saying put Volkanovski on ice right now, or who are you saying will fight Volkanovski?
Throw Yair Rodriguez into the mix.
Because I'm pretty sure Ortega is pushing really hard for the Korean Zombie.
Yeah, that fight hasn't been announced,
And
but it's gonna happen.
That would be, I think, for the title. For the title fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be that'd be the number 1 contender fight, and winner of that fights for the title.
It probably not likely, but number 6 Calvin Kattar and number 10 Dan Ige are taking each other on Wednesday, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities of them getting a shot. The winner of that.
That's a little far though.
I say it's a stretch, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities.
There would have to be like just a masterclass performance by. I think Kattar is the only one that could possibly. Because I mean, Ige barely won his last fight. There's people that are saying Barboza beat him.
If Kattar destroys Ige, you can make the statement for Kattar to get that title fight.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, but the thing is he's fighting a guy that's ranked under him.
Yeah.
So people expect him to beat this guy. So I just don't really see that happening. Yes, I mean they're both exciting guys, so anything could happen. And so especially since, but it's just like none of the top featherweights are fighting right now, dude. So everyone that's a featherweight is ready.
Josh Emmett wasn't. If he didn't just get surgery, he'd be fighting Volkanovski for the title.
I know. Dude. I was just thinking that today. That'd be such a good fight.
Josh called him out already. He said once he's healthy, he's fighting for the title.
Yeah, he said in March. I saw that. It's like, damn, that's so far away, Josh.
Hey, he's still a beast though for that.
Oh yeah, that's funny. I think he did that kind of like half serious, full serious, but kind of half jokingly too. You know.
Hey, honestly, it could very well happen. I kind of hope so. But let's just to sum that fight up though: trash, bad, awful, all the way around, and there's no defending the judges for that. Holloway won that fight 3 rounds to 2. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. That's what happened.